Doctor Who podcast number 20, and as promised, here is a podcast about cricket in Doctor Who, and I will endeavour to explain to some extent how the game works through the following clips. Now, I haven't done any exhaustive research on this, apart from asking a few people on Twitter, but I think I can safely say that the first appearance of cricket in Doctor Who was in the Daleks' Master Plan, where, strangely enough, the Doctor has no idea what it is, and as he's travelling with two companions from the far future, they haven't a clue what it is either. So it's somewhat strange that by his fourth incarnation, and then obviously his fifth, he suddenly developed not only a knowledge of the game, but a love for it.
If I had a cricket ball, I could jolly soon knock that switch.
Well, let's do it.
Watch this, then.
What may puzzle some of you is why Harry shines the ball on his top before throwing it. Well, I absolutely have no idea, because it's not going to have any effect. But in the game of cricket itself, a usual ball has a seam. This plastic little crap thing doesn't, but has a seam that goes round. And when the ball's new, both sides are of the same finish. But during the game, the players will, using a combination of their trousers and some spit, which they'll rub on the ball and then shine, the finish of the ball will change. And this means that when it's bowled, depending on which way they've got the different sides, it will either swing that way when it bounces or that way. And obviously, being a small ball, the batsman at the other end is not going to be able to see which way the bowler is going to swing it. At least that's the theory. Though it's not going to help Harry knock out the defence mechanism. In the Haunts of Nyman, we then come across the Doctor using the TARDIS as a cricket ball, and he comments to K9 with his usual egotism afterwards that he could have been a good slow bowler. What he means by this is a spin bowler, and obviously if you bowl slowly, just in a straight line, then the batsman's going to have an easy time picking up the ball, bam. But if you spin it, if you put a flick on it with your wrist or with your arm, there's various ways of applying it, so that the ball spins like this. When it lands, it's going to bounce sharply that way, or if you're spinning it that way, it's going to bounce sharply that way, and the batsman can't necessarily predict where it's going to go, and therefore has to be very careful in defending his wicket.
Dear me. Needs a drop of linseed oil, though.
In Castrovalva, when the Doctor first picks up his cricket bat and gets his costume from his little pavilion, he talks about the bat needing a spot of linseed oil. This is because, unlike this plastic thing, a real bat is a finely tuned wooden instrument which needs keeping in check and needs to be regularly oiled with the oil from the linseed tree. Now, I guess the story that causes Doctor Who fans who don't know anything about cricket the most consternation is Black Orchid, seeing as there's a whole 4 or 5 minute scene, slap bang in episode 1, where they're playing cricket. So let's have a rundown of some of those shots.
Well, you better pad up, Doctor. Got your gear?
I regret I have none.
No matter, I'll fix you up.
So in this first scene, we've got Lord Cranley telling the Doctor he needs to pad up, and that's simply just saying he needs to get into his cricket gear, which include pads, which run from knee to ankle, and help protect batsmen from balls, particularly fast ones.
Taking a terrible thrashing, 54 for 8.
The scoring system, very simple. The 54 for 8 is the score when the Doctor comes in. 54 being the number of points or runs that have been scored, and 8 being the number of wickets, i.e. the number of people that have got out, and they're a maximum of 10. So they're in a very sorry way at this point in the game.
I made a duck.
When Cranley refers to a duck, he simply means that he didn't score any runs before he got out.
Now the wicket's very green, the ball's keeping low. Any good with the ball?
Not bad.
Good. Medium pace, slow?
Fast.
Top ho.
A green wicket is simply one that hasn't dried out as much and is more green in terms of the grass. And when we come to the style of bowling, the Doctor says that he bowls fast. He's not actually bowling fast. He's showing off a bit, though he still obviously has a massive haul of wickets to his name.
Middle stump!
When the Doctor first comes on, he shouts middle stump to someone off camera and proceeds to do something like this and then mark the floor. What he's actually asking the umpire to do is to tell him, and obviously the umpire's impartial, he says, when is my bat in line with the middle stump of the wicket? And he lines it up and marks it so that he knows where to put his bat every ball without having to check himself. The call of "How's that?" from the bowlers and the fielders is simply shouting to the umpire that they think the person is out, and the umpire could then agree with them or disagree with them by raising his finger into the air, and that's the signal from the umpire that he's out.
How's that? With that bowler made over?
Bowl someone over is to impress them with your looks or your ability, and so the Doctor is basically asking, am I going to attract the ladies in this get-up? Obviously he's not, as the Rani isn't impressed. But the other interpretation of to bowl maiden over is obviously a cricketing one. An over, a series of 6 balls bowled by a bowler. They usually have 2 bowlers on at once, one does 6, the next does 6, and so on, alternating ends. And a maiden over is one in which the opposition don't score any runs. That's a successful play as a bowler if you bowl a maiden over.